Hey everyone, this is Jason Rickman with DDH Properties here in Wild Rose, Wisconsin. Bringing you a brand new listing we got coming live this week. It's a little over 80 acres of some of the prime hunting land in the state. In fact, one of the state record bucks was shot not too far from here in the same county even. Not only does the 80 acres have some of the best deer hunting in the area, it boasts an awesome pond for wildlife such as ducks and goose if you'd like to do some switch-up hunting in between that and deer. Also great trail system throughout the 80 acres. It's got some great food sources with some great acorn action, along with some great bedding areas that also are featured on here. The other great thing about this property, it's got a 32 by 32 shed, along with a nice little loft that you could either put into a living quarters or just more storage for all the extra stuff you bring when you go hunting. Let's go check it out. First stop, let's check out the shed. In the shed we have here a split level. So the downstairs right now, it's set up as a deer camp, or it could be part of your storage. The upstairs is actually set up one of two ways. You can either use it for extra storage, or you can have it set up as a bedroom for overnight stays from your hunting weekends. So that was the shed, but let's get to the real reason why we're here today. All right, some of the things that I love about this property is the thick bedding area that is located throughout this property. And it is absolutely loaded with oaks and acorns everywhere on this side, over on this side. So there's tons of food and bedding close to each other. The other nice thing that the seller has done for us is put a great trail system in here to be able to navigate the property. As you can see down there, a great trail going east to west, and then we're on a good one north to south. What the sellers are also willing to do is leave some awesome tree stands in perfect spots for your next big buck. Anyone should be able to fall in love with this property without it having really any lowland. Anybody can access any part of this property by foot, by four-wheeler or UTV without any issues. But the best thing about this property is the water. And they have a beautiful pond on the property with a ridge on the backside, which makes a perfect pinch point for your deer movement to shoot the buck of your lifetime.
Hey, Tim Newman from Analogics Outdoors. Next up on Deer and Deer Hunting Properties, I'm going to show you how to select and establish a new mineral site.
Deer and Deer Hunting Properties is brought to you by Orion Hunting Products. Engineered for stealth and safety, Orion's modular, lightweight design allows you to set up camp anywhere you want to hunt. No heavy equipment, no problem. Orion Hunting Products.
It's going to be a perfect spot. Hey, Tim here from Analogics. Today we're setting up a brand new mineral site, and what I've done is I've kind of looked at the aerial of this property and found a spot that I can get in and out of pretty easily without spooking a lot of deer that would be bedded in the woods farther in. So there's a food plot within 50 yards of this location, so I can sneak in here, put the minerals in, and also check the camera and be out of here right quick. What I'm going to do with this spot is basically just clear away all the vegetation, both living and decaying, and I want to get to bare soil because the minerals are actually going to be consumed better if they're in the dirt. Whitetails actually do consume the dirt along with the minerals. It's a process called geophagy. It's basically eating soil. So we want to get the minerals mixed into the soil. We've got a perfect tree. We can put a trail camera here and monitor this area throughout the growing season. So let's get to work. What I'm doing is I'm basically just cutting all of this grass and roots and everything. I'm getting it right down to bare soil. This is just a regular garden hoe we're using here, so. I want to make sure that the deer can have access to this mineral without digging through the leaf litter and all that dead grass, the thatch. So I'm getting right down to bare soil. And I'm basically doing this in a circle. So what I want to get is about a 3-foot circle that I'm going to be pouring the mineral on. So when you think about like a campfire size circle, that's what we're after. All right, so now that we've got a good base cleared out, I'm going to pour about half of that mineral dirt 180 in this area, and I'm going to churn it into about the top 3 inches using the hoe. So there we've got about half the bag. We're gonna churn that into the soil. So for this, I'm turning the hoe, so I'm digging in with the skinnier portion so I can get more of that topsoil up to the top. Now I'm gonna even that out just a little bit. Get rid of some of these roots that I cut out. Okay, now we're gonna pour the rest of the bag on top. We're gonna mix in a little bit of that white out as well. Mineral Dirt 180 is a great granular mineral product just by itself. But in this instance, we're in a brand new mineral site. I wanna give it a little bit of a cake topper. That's what this Black Ops whiteout is. It's more of an attractant than the pure mineral. And that's gonna get the deer to quickly utilize this site and basically give them another reason to stop by and give us a good picture on the trail camera. So that's pretty much it. All we need to do now is set up the trail camera, make sure we're in frame, watch the pictures roll in.
So you've done the homework, you've decided how many does that you could take off of that private parcel. If you're hunting public land, well, it really depends upon the public land that you're hunting. But when should you take them off?
So did you know that within hours of being born, a fawn can stand up and move itself from the birth site? So it's pretty amazing. I mean, you think about humans and what we have to do to be able to stand up. You know, it takes us 8 months to a year on average, and a fawn does it within a couple hours. So it's pretty amazing how they have evolved to get away from that site that is dangerous in terms of a possible predation event.
So you've done the homework, you've decided how many does that you could take off of that private parcel. If you're hunting public land, well, it really depends upon the public land that you're hunting. But when should you take them off? If you want meat, immediately. Take them off in September, and if that's when your bow season opens, or October, or whenever that is. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to maintain optimal buck hunting opportunities, what I would suggest is if you want meat right away, go out and shoot a yearling doe. That's a year and a half, 18-month-old doe. Most cases, she's not going to have a fawn. Some states that are very prolific, she will have fawns. You don't have to worry about orphaning those fawns. We have science to back that up. Once hunting season starts, that's why we have the hunting seasons that we have, is based off of those fawning dates and weaning dates. Those fawns are full functioning ruminants by the time you get to archery season in every state. If you want optimal buck hunting opportunities, I would highly suggest laying off those mature does. Anything 2.5 years old and older, you can't really age a doe on the hoof past. You can tell that it's a fawn, you can tell that it's a yearling, and you can probably tell if it's 2.5 years old or older. After that, all bets are off. I would lay off on those older does until later as we get either to the rut or after the rut. Now that really depends upon where you hunt.
Meep, meep. That Hornady SST bullet, it's money, and it's right on, and it does the job. She only went 40 yards, maybe 50 yards. Good day.
Deer and Deer Hunting Properties is brought to you by Analogics, perfecting the science of deer feed. Ready to harvest a giant? Let Analogics help you attract, hold, pattern, and grow trophy bucks. Analogics, because there is no off-season.
Here's a tip for all you guys who want to improve your hunting properties. Add a little bit of water. And this does not take much. It doesn't cost a lot. Don't believe what people tell you. They say, oh, it's thousands and thousands of dollars to hire somebody with a backhoe. No, it's not. You can get it very reasonably. Or if you're mechanically inclined and can rent one and do it yourself, you can easily do this in a weekend. The biggest thing with adding any type of water source, I always make sure that it's near cover and it's near a travel corridor. It's just like putting in food. The deer will be attracted to it, but how often they use it really depends upon how comfortable they feel. The best parts, surrounding cover, some nearby food plots, add water, you're gonna have deer activity throughout deer season.
I'm not sure why guys hesitate to shoot does during the rut. It's not like every doe is hot through the entire season. It's part of management. It's part of our licensing system. So if we're expected to shoot does as hunters and enjoy hunting as an experience, why do we have to set time limits about when we can harvest them and when we can't? If you're out in the field in the rut hunting bucks already and the does are there, it just makes sense to take advantage of it. That worked out well. We actually had a beautiful sunset. We got about 40 minutes of legal light left. And the deer had really been holding in the low spots with the wind here. And then we had a couple cut out, and we no sooner saw this one coming, we had some coming from the right, but we decided to just stay on the one we had picked originally. So you got a beautiful sunset to watch with the white-tailed doe tonight. It's a good way to end the day and the hunt.
One thing that's very much way overanalyzed, in my opinion, is when to shoot does. If you want meat right away, shoot one right away, first thing in archery season. If we're gonna wait until after the rut, it really depends. If you're gonna wait until late season, now you're rolling the dice and you're putting your herd management in jeopardy if you're waiting until December or in January in the southern states to do your doe management. A couple things at play there. Number one, those older does, they've been hunted, they're smarter, they're hard to shoot. If you're gonna start targeting younger deer, you run the risk of shooting buck fawns. I'm not running for the roof if I shoot a buck fawn. That's compensatory mortality, it's gonna happen, but it makes things much more difficult unless you have a prime piece of property to do that in the late season.
And again, it all goes back to what do you want to do on your property and how much hunting time do you have available. If you only get a week, a set amount of time to take off and go deer hunting, well, it doesn't hurt to take a doe or two during the rut. It may affect your hunting a little bit, but you also got to remember, you want to put some venison in the freezer. So, should you shoot that doe during the rut? I say, heck yeah!
Shooting does? Why would one want to shoot a doe? Well, for one, they're delicious. It's organic meat that people pay extra for. And ask any livestock rancher if they keep all their females or if they use them and harvest them as well. The answer is pretty straightforward. You can't stockpile them. Mother Nature will take care of it. And you only have so much feed and habitat. So managing does is an important part of wildlife management, and we do that through hunting.
Since we're on the topic, and I'm a journalism nerd at heart, it's does, plural, when we're talking about more than one doe. It's not doe. I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you, but I did not see 3 doe. I did not see 2 buck. I saw 3 does, I saw 2 buck, and I saw 4 turkeys. That's your nerdy grammar police tip of the day.